two people are running a business that makes $1 billion a year.
The world is weird. Welcome to talk. Work it to me.
Welcome
To talk worky to me.
That's so lame. It's so embarrassing every time. I am never going to stop. Welcome to Talk Worky to Me, the podcast where we talk about the future of work.
AI.
And just how to stay successful, insane, and making money in all of this.
Yeah, and to be human as well, most importantly.
Be human. So tell me about these people. I nearly said these guys. I've just shown my bias. I just assumed it was men.
Unfortunately, it is two
Right.
guys. Yeah. So they run a company called Medvi.
Mm-hmm.
It's a telemedicine company. Basically, they sell prescriptions for GLP-1s, semaglutide, Ozempic. They have a load of AI agents, two people. They do a load of just shifting people to third parties. So you want to buy some Ozempic, we'll hook you up with the people who sell you Ozempic. They take a cut.
Oh, so it's like an affiliate site.
Sort of in between an affiliate and a GP. Somewhere in between the two. I think the rules are a little...
far away from each other.
Well, in America, I think the gap's a little closer. So, yeah, basically they hook people up with Ozempic and take a cut of each transaction.
And two people making $1 billion a year.
A year. Last year they made 400 million. This year they're on track for 1.8 billion. So we're taking the average here. We haven't seen their books, but we're estimating about $1 billion at the moment.
And just them and loads of agents.
Yeah, so it was him. He spent 20 grand on a lot of agents. So he did coding. He used tools like Midjourney and Runway for all the social media, all the social assets, all the images, all the videos. Hired his brother to help him run it.
Wow.
And they're off.
I just realised we forgot to introduce ourselves. Let's do it now. This is Henry.
Hi.
He knows a lot about stuff like this. He knows a lot about business, innovation, and also seems to just know who's making a lot of money using agents. Also, he knows what agents are and what an agent is. So maybe he can teach us that today. And we are a couple because he was a reply guy on Twitter for years.
You maintain I was a reply guy. I replied twice.
No, like 4 times. And how many times did I reply?
Nunts.
That makes you a reply
Nil.
guy. That makes you...
Okay, to be fair, I think for nerds, I was just nerd testing you. You would put a chessboard. You were playing chess,
Yep.
and you were missing a pawn, so you used an AirPod, which we discovered in episode 1. You know what an AirPod is. And I said AirPod to D3 using the famous, commonly used chess notation, and I thought that was really funny. Nothing in return. Much like now, absolute deadpanned me.
Well, it all worked out in the end.
It all worked out in the end because here we are doing a podcast together. This is Kirsty Hulse. She is on her 3rd book. She's trained over 100,000 people around the world on influence, persuasion, and leadership. And she did not learn to speak until she was 4 years old. Surrounded by a loving, doting family who bullied her, she realized that she could just point at anything and people would fetch it for her. So had no reason to learn how to master the English tongue.
The kind of things that people are learning about me on this podcast just make me sound like a gelatinous slab.
Iconic gelatinous slab.
Who needs to speak when you can just go?
You still bring a bit of that energy into our life.
I do a little bit, Henry.
And I'll do it. I'm the mug here.
Okay, should we go to audience questions?
Audience questions.
Do you know what? Let's do 2. I have an audience question on what leaders should be bringing and learning. But I think because it's come up already, give us a quick whistle-stop tour of what an agent is. People will be hearing agentic AI, agents. Everyone's building agents. It's just 2 people and loads of agents. For anyone listening who's like, what they think an agent is Will Smith with a little brain pointy, you forget. You know what I mean? You get that reference? I'm showing my age?
I get it, yeah.
Okay, good. What's an agent?
What's an agent? So an agent is actually like the most misunderstood, misused, kind of woolly word that people are throwing around. Like anything can be agentic if you want it hard enough. So there's a difference, right, between automations and agents. Now, everyone here, everyone listening will have built an automation in their life. You might not realize it, but an automation is just something where if something happens, then something else happens quite predictably. Now, the automation that I think you have all built in your lives is if you've ever been on holiday and put an email out of office on. That was your first automation, right? And the simple rule to that automation is if you receive an email, then Google or Outlook or whatever you use, Hotmail, will send an email to that other person automatically in an automated way saying, sorry, I'm out of office. I'll get back to you when I come back, or I'll delete my inbox when I come back. Try me again. That's your energy. So that's an automation. An agent is just adding a bit of smarts into that.
A bit of smarts,
A bit of smarts, kid. You got brains, kids. Gee, you're going to go far.
Just kidding. Give you a bit of smarts.
Hey, slick.
When do you say smarts?
I'm being relatable. I'm being relatable to like the 1930s newspaper boy. So
Okay.
it's giving your automation a bit of smart. So an agent is something that can make decisions and run without you interceding. So maybe a way of upgrading your out of office would be if your out of office was agentic or an agent, then it would reply to different people based on like who they were or the content of their email. So if you emailed me while my out of office was on, my agent would be like, why are you emailing him? You're probably with him. If my boss emailed me while I had my out of office on, it would go, really sorry, he's out of office, but based on the content you're calling about like Project Prometheus or something. So here are the 3 people managing it while he's away, and here's a link to the document store. Or if it was like a marketing or a spam email, it'd be like, it wouldn't even respond, but it would just unsubscribe you.
Okay.
So it can take more initiative. And that's like a really simple version. Or you could scale it all the way up to, create me a social media campaign. Anyone that interacts with it, go and send them a message based on what they're interested in. Respond to that response.
Like ManyChat, that would be an...
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Kind of. Except that will send like a standard default message.
Right.
But remember, we're putting smarts
Don't.
in it.
Before we carry on, just like, can you just do it? Has my makeup gone all around my face?
No,
Because
you look amazing.
Okay, thank you.
You've kept your composure. Doll face. You're looking
No,
great.
stop. I can't. It's
Gee.
Stop it.
Gee whiz, you're a fine dame.
Stop it. I can't deal with it. Okay, so let's be sensible, actually, please, Henry.
Come on, this is the future of work.
This is the future of work we're talking about, actually.
Not the past. Look to the future,
Stop
girl.
it, stop it. Stop.
Rocket ships on Mars. Okay, so your audience question.
Wait, I just want to summarize. So agents is basically anything that you put an input in and it kind of independently goes and completes something. That's what agentic AI is.
And there's a bit of a wrinkle in that it can almost like kick itself off. So it can be like, 5 p.m, time for me to go and do something.
Right.
Or, the CO2 level in the house has dropped below this, time to open some windows. Or, we've noticed the profit level across the company is dropping, time to spin up a new social media campaign.
Okay, nice. So if anyone listening is like, what is an agent? I'm freaking out. Like, people are building businesses with agents. Agents is not as complicated as we think it is. It's kind of just like a fancy word for automations.
Yeah. Like imagine, here's the best way to think about it. Imagine a prompt that runs by itself.
Simple. Thank you, Henry.
There we go.
Thank you for that simple...
Just came up with that.
You remember
would have said
that.
it earlier if I'd have thought of it.
Instead, we had to do all of this.
We had to go to 1930s Chicago to get back here.
What a journey. Okay, so my audience question is, and I get asked this all the time, I'm a leader. Sorry, I'm a leader. What should I be thinking about? What should I be learning? And what are like the most important skills and tools for me now? So I think we both answer this. I'll answer it in terms of people.
Please.
And please. And you answer it in terms of AI.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is going to sound like the most obvious answer coming from me. I think the most important work skill outside of learning the practical functionality of AI is influence. Competence is no longer enough. Competence is not a differentiator. We all learn to get good at our jobs by becoming competent, by, synthesizing data and being on top of it and having your spreadsheets and going into a meeting armed with your information and preparing presentations and getting all of your speaker notes in. That is no longer enough to set you apart from everybody else. If it ever was, actually, what we need is to get really good at influence, know how to not just convey a message, but get a message to actually land, to understand how to communicate emotionally, how to build genuine trust. That is so, so important. And I would wager it's outside of learning the practicalities of AI. That's very important as well. It's maybe the most important skill we can learn at the moment, which is why I think I'm pretty excited to be writing a book on it.
You're writing a book on it?
I literally am. So we can talk a bit maybe on how you do that. Yeah. But for you.
Okay, yeah, let's come back to the fun stuff and I'll do the AI nerdy stuff now. I think as a leader, you see so many of these woolly initiatives like, AI is our Q3 project, thinking that AI is like another piece of software. Like we're going to install AI like we installed SAP.
Got it. So interesting. I do hear that a lot.
Yeah. And it's not that. It's like a new operating system. It's like a new type of employee. It's like saying we're going from working with 3 full-time people to 20 part-time contractors working remotely across 3 different offices, across 3 different countries. Like it's a much more substantial change. But I think where a lot of people are getting it wrong at the moment is they lack an understanding of what these tools are capable of.
Yeah, totally.
Particularly talking now summer 2026, there was a step change between November and January from sort of over Christmas 2025. These tools passed a threshold where they suddenly became very good at doing stuff by themselves. And a lot of people haven't updated their opinions around that, particularly around leaders, because you're busy managing teams and doing your work rather than be like, oh, I'm going to download Claude Code or OpenAI's Codex and play around with it and build agents. But I think I was about to say it behooves you. Which is...
It's got smart.
yeah. I don't think I've ever said it behooves.
You're really just going through the centuries today.
It insists upon itself.
From 1934 to 1834. What a journey you're taking us on.
So these fine leaders find themselves in a quandary. So I think the most useful thing you can do as someone who's like a forward-looking leader is have a play around with these systems yourself. Like you're not going to be able to do it on your work hardware. Like these kind of open-ended agentic systems, it's very difficult to install them on work devices at the moment. But if you have a home device, I think the most important thing you can do for your team, your career, and your business is spend $20, which is about £16 at the moment, subscribe to for a month to either Claude or ChatGPT and download their like hardcore desktop agentic version. So OpenAI is Codex, Claude is Claude Code, and just give it a really open-ended task.
And I think what's really important, I think there's 2 things there. I think the first, if you're working in a big corporate, you might be stymied by using like Copilot, which doesn't have huge functionality at the moment. There might be like a very gated version of like ChatGPT on one team laptop you can use or something.
Yeah.
And I think what you said, like getting out of that and playing with it as an individual. And you just said like co-work and Codex, and you said these words that some people might be like, what are those things? And I learned how to use a lot of what Henry's talking about now. Henry didn't sit down and teach me. I'm too stubborn for that. I'm not listening to him. Not listening to him.
Would never be taught by me.
There is nothing he can teach me.
That is strictly true. There is nothing I can teach you because you will not learn.
I am unteachable.
You are.
It's a very good quality.
You forged your own path. No one's directing you.
But so the way I learned was I got AI to teach me. A lot of people join your courses because people like to be shown the way.
And to learn with other people
as well. And to learn with other people, absolutely. And then some people are very like driven by autonomy, me, and I learn best when I'm like on my own, getting it wrong. And so you can learn, depending on whatever style you're in, you can learn it by, I was like Googling like, what is Claude co-work? I followed the steps. And then I was like, hi, Claude, what can you do? Teach me how to use you.
Yeah.
And so I think that's so important that if you're a leader, and we're so busy, like I get it, but I think what has happened to a lot of the people that I'm seeing is there is a belief that AI isn't very good. That worries me because it's not true.
It's not true. And increasingly for the last 6 months, the perception and the reality have deeply diverged for anyone outside of tech or anyone outside of Silicon Valley. The reality of what's happening at the moment with these latest models, latest kind of Claude Code type softwares is absurd, the abilities they have, but no one really outside of those circles is using it. So there is also a clear competitive advantage to understanding even where the what's the phrase, where the puck is heading. Like in a year or two, Copilot will be able to do these things. It will be broadly deployed, but there is such an advantage in teams if you can get on top of this or get ahead of this.
Yeah. And I would also say, like, it's also kind of fun to be able to build stuff and make stuff and have an idea and be able to create it. That's fun. And it doesn't, and we're all so busy and we have a lot going on. A lot of people work in businesses where you might actually get professional development time. Maybe you could use it. And so, like, use that time to play and experiment. We were training an amazing senior team at a very, very, very big multinational. And we had so much fun. Like they really wanted to learn and they were really engaged and it was so good. And I think understandably, a lot of the people on that team had gone, AI isn't very good. I get it. I cannot really understand how so many of us got to that perspective. We're just reading AI slop and we're trying to create things and it isn't really working. And then they went on the break, and during the break, you got your Codex. Now, I don't really know what Codex is, so I'm going to try and explain. Tell me if I'm wrong. Is Codex like GPTs? It lives on your desktop, and it can just it's kind of agentic.
Yeah. Okay. So think of it like a friendly little elf that lives in your computer, and any button you can press, it can press.
Got it.
So
it can drive your computer.
Yeah, it can drive any of your apps. It can drive, you can say, open up Microsoft Word and put the cursor in Microsoft Word and type in Word for me. Or you can say, I've got this game. Literally, I've got this game. I've got Mario Golf open on my laptop. Go and complete 18 rounds for me, and it'll go and do it. Because anything you can click, it can click.
I love that example. That's where your brain went.
Yeah, again, just came. I was like, what's a fun example?
Mario.
Now we don't have to play our video games anymore. AI can do it for us.
That's the future. We don't even have to do our video games.
Yeah. Leisure is automated. On a serious note, and I think where I see people fall down is the wrong term, but where I see people kind of think, okay, I guess it's good. Wow, it can drive my computer, or wow, it can do stuff without me telling it to. But what does that mean for me? I think we learn best when we're playing, when we're having fun.
So true.
And it can be so po-faced of like, oh, I need to spin up an agent to manage my calendar. I think the most useful thing you can do, download Codex or download Claude Code, and they have this function called goal. And basically it just says to the AI, like, here's my desired end state. Don't stop until you get there. It's like any fun little project you've had of like, I collected like GQ magazines in the 90s. Make me a site that lists every GQ magazine and then links to the Instagram of everyone who was featured in it, who's still alive, and then to the personal websites of all the photographers, and build me a shopping list on Amazon of all the suits that were featured or something like that. And you put that in as a goal. So /goal, here's what I want you to do. Go away and do it. And it will occasionally ask you questions of like, do I have permission to click this or click that? Because actually these services are really good. If you naturally they're set up to ask you permission before they do anything. As you get more familiar, you can put them on like YOLO mode. Like, don't ask me, just go. But at the start, they're very good at saying like, can I click this? Can I send this email? Can I read this? Can I access this? And if you just sit there and watch it and just like click yes occasionally, you'll be really surprised. Like, oh, it's gone away. It's done this. It's searched that. It's downloaded this. It's set this up. And that, as a leader, is a flavor of what a lot of your corpus of junior employees will look like. You'll have like real people employees, and those people employees will be able to use these swarms of agents to just go away and do all the low-level work. Like, go away and look over our last 24 months of receipts and accounts, reconcile them for me, tell me anything, give me the phone numbers of the people I should call where we have more questions.
Yeah. My I'll edit that out.
That was nice.
Do you like it?
I did. Leave it in.
My optimistic worldview is that AI won't take our jobs, but it will take our tasks.
Yeah.
And so if it takes our tasks, what are we left with?
Soft skills.
Hard specialisms of the future. And so if you're a leader, go away, play with AI, find the 15 minutes to familiarize yourself, build something fun, and also learn how to become even more influential. Because when everybody's got the same level of information, everybody's got the same level of competence, we need to add additional skills to our arsenal. So how do we become more influential? I'll teach like a couple of things maybe on this podcast.
Yeah,
it's
please.
such a big topic, but I think one of the most important things for influence is presence. And I will say to people, you can't own a room that you're not even in. And so many people were kind of like this.
Can I jump and ask a question about that? Because
Yeah.
I think sometimes I imagine if I hadn't heard you speak before, I'd wonder, when you say you're not even in, do you mean like you're not even in, you haven't received an invite to that room, or your body is in the room, but you're not like in the room?
The latter, like your body is in the room, you're there, but you're like kind of not. And so we're both very present in this conversation.
Yeah.
Whereas I imagine if we'd heavily prepared and if we had like a script, then I might be like, okay, well, what's the next thing on the script? What am I going to say? And I think so in this conversation, like I can tell now that you're like,
is this how we just style out not having a script to prepare?
Yeah.
We're doing this for presence.
Yeah, we're doing it for the audience.
This is for you.
It's actually for you. You're welcome.
Thank you.
No, they say thank you.
Oh, they say thank you. Thank you for thanking us.
But, we're busy and we have loads going on. And, the average like person working is sitting at their desk getting loads of emails and TikToks and Slack and notifications. We get distracted every like 10 seconds. Research has shown after we're distracted, it gets harder for us to bring our attention back. And what is such a profound skill on our first date? Do you remember when you made me cry on our first date?
This is painting me in a very poor light.
No. You made me cry because you gave me your whole presence.
Yeah.
And that's so rare. We're on a date. We've just met. Was it a date or was it a business meeting?
It was framed as a business meeting.
But it was a date.
That was the only way I was tearing you away from your clients. I was dangling more clients in front of you. Complete setup.
But I cried because you were thoughtfully asking me questions and giving me your focus and your presence. And that is very penetrating.
That was the intention.
But it's very like unusual. And I was doing some training yesterday. And the reason I say penetrating is someone came up to me and she said, how do you get to be so penetrating? And I was like, well, first we have to be there. Like if I'm here and it's so subtle, but it's so profound. Like if I'm here and I'm communicating to someone, but my energy's like, do they like me? Do they think I'm good? Like, what am I going to say next? What's the next cool thing I'm going to say? And in this podcast, like I'm not actually mentally scripting what we're saying next.
Yeah.
Maybe I should be, but I'm really just listening to you. I'm like feeling the conversation and that allows me to be in this moment.
Yeah. Imagine if I was like trying to pull you back of like, no, it 3 minutes in, we need to say this thing, or you haven't said the thing you were going to say. And then you just force things into a format. And maybe that's fine for like, you have 10 minutes to do the Q2 presentation.
Yes, totally.
But for anything more, when you're looking to influence or when you're looking to make a connection or actually move forward together, then you want to be there and really be there.
Yeah. Because I often talk about having your energy outwards. And so I'll even try and demonstrate it on camera. Like so now my energy is in, and I'm kind of like thinking a bit more about, is this like okay? Is this interesting? And then I take my energy out. And I kind of take my focus and my attention and I put it out. And it's a little bit about body language and a little bit about eye contact. But really, it's about like, how much space are we taking up? You know, how much presence are we allowing ourselves to have? And so when we get more senior, and if we really want to be influential to the point where I can walk into any room and communicate silently that I should be listened to. Like, I don't have to say anything.
Yeah, you're good at that.
I'm good at that. And it's because I've learned to do it. And it starts with the ability to be in the moment. Because that's actually when we can start to notice things and we can start to create that silent sense of, I'm here and you can listen to me. And then we can start managing rooms, because as we become more senior, it's not actually about having all the data. It's about managing the weather in the room. And so the first thing is, are you in that room?
Yeah.
Are you feeling the weather? Are you observing the weather? So just start there. It can be as simple as, you know, looking at the person you're talking to and noticing them. You know, like noticing their body language, listening to what they're saying, and just observe everything. And then we start to increase our empathy as well at the same time. Very different skills. So get in your codex, tinker with your tech, and then learn to be radically present. Got it? Got it? I think they've got it.
Nice. Can I?
Yes.
Go on.
Well, I was going to say we haven't done bot or not. By the way, you did that as if people can't see you. And they can. That was very
some
sweet.
People might be listening.
Okay, some people are listening. Okay,
They're missing out if they're listening, because you look great today.
Thank you. So, I think our but or not should be, we're talking about influence and presence. Let's do communication. Give me an instance where bot is good for communication and I'll do a not.
So bot is great for ordering your thoughts. So I'm going to pull together two things we talked about on the last couple of podcasts. So firstly, this idea of using AI to write a speech. Terrible idea, because we talk completely differently to how we write, and AI will give you a fantastic written piece of work, but it will sound awful when you read it out. But AI is really good at helping you structure chaotic thoughts. If there's one thing AI is amazing at,
I don't have chaotic thoughts, actually.
Okay, the other 99.9999% of humanity who has slightly jumbled thoughts.
Mine are very organised and neat.
You're so neat. Your thoughts are so neat.
So neat.
They're so neat and in a line.
Okay, sorry. Continue.
So this is combining something else. We talked about whisper flow. We talked about voice dictation. We talked about how actually, you know, using your hands to peck at the keyboard like this, like twisting our wrists, and just, it's a very unnatural thing to do. And actually, if we communicate our thoughts to our words via speech a lot better. And one of the amazing things AI is good at is inferring latent ideas from jumbled content. So you could put 200,000, you can put like Harry Potter length novels into AI and it will pull out and order the thoughts in there. So one of the best things to do is just hit record and just word vomit, like everything you're thinking about, all the tangents. And you can do this for like half an hour if you want to create a report or like a fantastic summary email, in the same way that perhaps some people are using AI to transcribe meetings, and it goes, you know, here are the meeting actions afterwards. Very good at that. But even better for when you have something you want to say, you're not quite sure how to say it, and you just throw that all out of your mouth, transcribed by AI, and AI will get. And then the best thing to do as well, that people often get wrong, is people give it one go. They say like, neaten this up. And if it does it, and this is the interesting, if it does it wrong, quote unquote, i.e. not in the way you want it to, a lot of people say, wow, it's trash. It didn't do it right. Where it works best is if you give it multiple options. So give me 5 different ways to order this. Give me 5 different ways I could say this, or 5 different summaries of what I'm thinking. 3 of them will be completely not what you're after. 1 of them will be so-so, and 1 of them will probably be really, really good. So that's how you get better output. And then you take that structure and you put it into your own words after that. So you go from half an hour of here's everything I'm thinking. And the important thing is to not self-censor. and you'll know this better than almost anyone, the thoughts that you self-censor or the thoughts that you almost cut off.
They're the good ones.
They're the good ones. They're the good ones, right?
First thought, best thought.
First thought, best thought. Yeah. So this almost, your job is to like turn your brain inside out and pour those words out onto a page for AI to sift through and be like, there's where the genius lives. And you wouldn't have seen that unless you could just get it all out. So throw it out, transcribe it all, stick it into AI and be like, give me 5 ways of structuring this and ordering this that's true to my original intent and meaning, but like easier to digest.
And this is really nice because I think about how we can use AI to be like closer together as humans and use AI to connect us. And as you were sharing, I had this sense of someone who was maybe really apprehensive about maybe a difficult conversation or a performance review. And you kind of know what you want to say, but you're worried that you're going to hurt their feelings and it's all like messy. And I think there's something very practically helpful to give some frameworks to tighten that language, but also kind of like emotionally helpful to be like, this is what I'm going to say and I'm worried and what's the good thing to say. And so I think that's a definite bot. Using AI to help articulate thinking. It's a bot.
I've got a great related not.
I have a not.
Okay, let's go with your not first.
Okay, and then we'll go with your not.
Yeah.
Okay, so my not is researcher called Mary Dasborough from the University of Miami has an expression which I use a lot because it's very succinct and it's the delivery is more important than the message. So I could say to you, we're not having a meeting today and we're not having a meeting today, and they mean different things. And so I think sometimes we are obsessed is a strong word, but we're very focused on our words and we're very focused on our content. And so the big not for me is not understanding that tone is so important to communication, that non-verbal cues are so important to communication. And maybe we might use AI or email or Slack to communicate something that needs some presence, that needs some connection, and that needs some tone. So difficult conversations, stress, briefs, if you're ever having to give someone feedback even, I really think we need to get much better at doing that either in person or on the phone or even like face-to-face virtually if we can, rather than always just firing things over email or firing things over Teams. Because you know, if you say to someone, oh, I didn't like the way you did that document, and say if somebody maybe is early a career or maybe isn't that confident, they will hear, I didn't like the way you did that document. Whereas actually what you're trying to say is, I didn't love the way you did that document. And there is so much beautiful informational complexity that I think we're at risk of losing. And if anybody wants to be more influential, get so good at understanding the way you speak and the energy and intention you bring into that conversation is everything. So that's my not. What's your not, Henry Blanchard?
My not is actually really related
Is it the
to
Windsor?
that.
Is it the Windsor?
It's the double shank.
You don't know any more knots.
I don't know any more knots, but I feel like I should, right? As
yeah,
like,
you've got that energy.
Yeah, I've got like boy who had the knot book. And you know what my energy is? Boy who had the book about knots, but never made any knots.
You just read about
read about the knots.
And you memorised them.
Yeah,
You
of
didn't
course.
have the
I'm ready for the knot test as long as it involves pen and paper and not actual rope.
Okay, what's your knot?
Okay, so my knot is actually really related to that. It's this idea of, so again, this could be a recurring theme. I see stuff online. I'm interested in like online culture and people sharing their experiences online of what happens to them offline. So the Tinder forums.
Get off you're on the Tinder forums, you're on the Creamfields forums.
I'm just living the life of a 19-year-old.
You enjoy it, King. You enjoy.
But kind of in online culture, you see people sharing like communication faux pas or asking like the relationship advice kind of subreddit.
Yeah. You love reading that.
Oh God, I think it's so interesting. Like the how no one understands what's going on inside a relationship apart from like at most the two people inside it. At most.
Mm-hmm.
Like
at a stretch.
in an ideal world, both people. And I've seen like a rise in people kind of saying, this person sent me this message. What does it mean? And it's obviously ChatGPT written, and it's just copied and pasted in. And like we were saying before in a different episode, there are these tells that you can tell, and people say it's like the M dash. And yeah, it is the M dash, but there's also just turns of phrase and ways of relating that AI will try and use. And it's so offensive to just give someone in any communication something that's just been copied straight out of AI, I think, but particularly in like a relationship situation. And you see people putting their arguments into ChatGPT and be like, hey, chat, who's right? Because I said this perfectly reasonable thing, and then they flew off the handle with a thing that wasn't even a counterpoint. So again, that's part of the flaw in AI. If you present it a biased argument, it's going to reflect your bias back to you. But when people just take verbatim something that's been written and, passed it off to the other person. So it's amazing at structuring thought. It's amazing at helping you get to the core argument that you're trying to make. But what it's appalling at is sounding exactly like you. So using it for structure. So maybe, I need to have a really difficult conversation with someone. Unfortunately, like I am going to do it over text because, and this may be for like younger people because I'm just so like unconfident. Then I get that. I totally get that.
I've been there.
Yeah, right. But it's like more help me structure my thought and then give me some guidance to put this in my own words. Because I want it to come from me. Because the intention is like, I don't want it to be messy. I want to be
it's a
clear.
sweet intention.
Yeah, it's the thing you say, like clarity is kindness. So I want to communicate this thing that I feel. And I want to use AI to help me structure that. But then you've got to put your own spin on it. Because otherwise, again, because AI is like the sort of the average of all human thought, you're just going to sound like this average default message that isn't you.
And I think there's something so important in the not knowing what to say and it being messy. I think that's actually where connection happens.
Oh, yeah.
I think about like when we have conflict and we're talking and I process information verbally.
Yeah.
So I will understand the world through language. And so I'll be like saying things, whereas you're quite different. So you'll often go very quiet.
I'll just sulk. I'll sulk and process internally.
Yeah, it's processing.
Yeah.
I think it's, like it's definitely not sulking. It's processing. At least that's what I'm telling myself.
That is a top tip for anyone. You're not sulking, you're processing.
No, sometimes there is sulking. But I think, we'll be in a difficult conversation and I'll be like, I felt this because of this. And I'm like navigating it through language. And you normally go very quiet. And it's in your difficulty to articulate that I like understand that I mean a lot to you. Because I think there's something in that, like wanting to get it right.
Yeah.
And so I think there's something really nice about using AI to help that thought, but then not letting AI get rid of that, like, sending the polished message actually reveals a really beautiful truth of someone going, I want this to be good. I want this to be right. I want this to, and I think that's really lovely.
Yeah. I mean, God, we can like, the difficulty is that you can understand everything. Like every person's motivations make sense. Even if they land with people a bit wrong, it's like, yeah, I can see why you wanted to send that message right.
I've cried. I've cried.
You crying?
Was it this episode or the other episode where I was crying about the smarts? It's all blending in.
I'm over here like AI, algorithms, the median response, sample the distribution. like weeping about like birds bonding for life.
I'm weeping about a conceptual couple having a difficult conversation.
This fabricated teen couple just trying to navigate their first love.
You've got to get it messy, and I think that's a big AI knot. The big AI knot is polishing away the mess in any context. Like in any context, we don't want to over polish away the mess because there's something really important and really human in that. Like flawed imperfection is absolutely essential for connection.
Yeah, we fall in love with the character for their journey, not the destination. It's like, imagine if Aladdin, you watch Aladdin and it opens up, it's like, Aladdin's a handsome prince with lots of money and he falls in love and marries Princess Jasmine.
Yeah.
The end.
Yeah.
There's no journey, there's no progress, there's no mess.
Yes.
And AI smooths out that mess.
Yeah, and whether we're trying to resolve conflict in our relationships or be a better leader or do better marketing, flawed, imperfection is necessary for connection. I've never said that before, but I think that's really true.
Yeah,
I think
like
that's
that.
really true. It's time for the draft. Is it time for the draft?
I think it's time for the
I
draft.
think I'm at timekeep, which is really odd.
So out of character for us.
Really out of character. The draft. What should we draft today?
You're not our timekeep, you're our vibes keep. You're moving the vibes on when you feel the vibes are right. Or
Thank
ripe.
you.
Okay, the draft. The draft.
The draft.
The draft.
The draft.
What should we draft?
Okay, so we're talking about influence today. We're talking about like emotional connection.
Shall we draft emotions?
Oh, I love that. Okay.
Okay.
Who won last time? We don't know who won last time because someone else is going to pick. So you can go first because I've already been first twice.
Very magnanimous of you.
Mhm.
Okay. I am going to draft joy.
Good. That's nice. Okay. I will draft.
That didn't give us much of a response.
Well, but do you know what? I think I knew you were going to do that.
Ah,
I think I knew you were going to go for joy off the
Yeah.
bat. That's the kind of guy you are.
nice.
Okay, so you've got joy.
Yep.
I've got contentedness. So you're like erratically happy very often.
I've bounced
but
off
it's
the...
empty.
I'm so exhausted all the time.
You're me when I was 24.
Yes,
Mhm.
perpetual state of hedonic joy.
Yes.
It's good though, wasn't
Oh, God, it was fun.
it? Okay, you've got contentedness.
Mhm.
So I'm reminded of some quote from some book I read, or possibly some forum at some point. I do that, where they were saying like happiness isn't the goal.
No.
Like the goal isn't to be happy. The goal is, and I can't remember what the goal was.
Oh, great. Okay.
Maybe joy. Yeah. Oh, I want to be all like profound, pick like challenge or persuasion, because that's where all growth lies or something. I've got joy. You've got contentedness.
Mhm.
I'm going to pick happiness.
You're staying on that.
Yeah, I'm all up.
You're staying
I'm
on that spectrum.
I'm all like, why be down when you can just be? Why let things build when you can just start up and stay there?
I'm so surprised I think that was a bad choice.
You're wrong.
You could only have 3 emotions
Yeah.
and you've picked 2 quite...
Joy and happiness. Yeah.
Joy and happiness,
Yeah.
right. Okay. So I've got contentedness. Is this my second?
Yeah.
Okay. I am going to pick pensiveness.
Oh, you're so lame.
I am
That's so lame. That's so I mean, you couldn't have had joy or happiness because I've got them, but theoretically, if they were free, would you still pick pensiveness?
I think I would have picked pensiveness.
You're so maudlin.
I love being pensive. You know, when you're like,
Right.
oh, pensive.
Sylvia Plath over
Rainy
here.
day, cup of tea, your pensiveness. Okay, joy, happy boy.
No.
What's your third emotion?
You're so wrong.
I am not wrong.
I'm going to pick love.
Okay.
And not just for a significant other, but like love for your family, love for your friends, love for life.
Yeah. Okay.
Joy, love, and happiness. Amazing.
You're intolerable.
Yeah,
for-
but I'm having a great time.
Okay. Okay, so you've got joy, love, happiness.
Yeah. Sounds
I've got-
fantastic, doesn't it?
It does. I've got contentedness. I sound a bit 13th century Christian.
You're Chaucer. You're like St. Augustine whipping himself with a hair shirt.
Okay, so I'm going to pick whimsy.
Yes.
I've got whimsy.
It's pretty good. It's like a bit like a moth flying
I've got
into
whimsy,
a window.
So I'm content. I'm pensive sometimes, and I'm also whimsical. I think that's a really good spectrum.
You've got range.
I have range.
I am one-dimensional.
You are so one-dimensional.
Listen, but who looks at a happy Labrador and doesn't think he's having a great time?
You're
He's-
a happy Labrador.
He's buzzing. He's absolutely buzzing.
Do you want to say it?
That's Hal for now. Fred Dinage, where is he? To our American listeners, this will be to most of our anyone listeners, this will be nothing.
You've really aged yourself in this one. A lot of your references are so like you made.
Listen, look, it's the Tinder subreddit or CITV from 1993. That's my dynamic.
Okay, now you can say it.
That's the pod.
The world is
Thank you.
weird.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Welcome to talk. to me.